Hello, my name is Steve Bigelow with the Candlestick Forum. This is kind of an analysis where you basically want to observe the obvious. The obvious being we saw some indecisive trading in the Dow right at the 200-day moving average. Stochastics in the overbought area. This was creating an extremely high probability of a change of investor sentiment in progress. And then on Friday, when the markets closed below the 200 and right there on the T-line, stochastics rolling over, the assumption has to be there's selling going on up here. Same scenario, or even more amplified by the NASDAQ, Doji, 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 and then a gap down below the T-line, stochastics heading lower. A high probability that they're starting to sell off as long as the index, especially the NASDAQ, I think the transportation index and the S&P 500 all closed below the T-line on Friday. So using this assumption or this analysis, anything that was starting to look weak like Amazon, Doji's failure at the 200 and a close below the T-line, where's the logical targets? Here or here, fill in the gap at the 50. So this is just kind of an just visual confirmation that everything is starting to sell off. So when you see something like this in the overbought areas, starting to see a lot of indecisive trading up here, and you can see how the trajectory turned over, it gets you mentally prepared that if you're long, you're starting to take profits and you're getting ready to go short if it fully confirms, as we saw on Friday, where net closed below the T-line. Again, gaps to fill and the targets. So the sectors to watch are the solars, the airlines, and the steel stocks, with more pressure going to the downside. Maxim, you can see how it did a bearish kicker signal. These are also good stocks to be ready to short on weakness. The steel sector, Steel Dynamics, gap down after a bunch of dojis up here in the overbought area. These are also good short setups. And the airlines, Hawaiian Air, you can see the doji harami gap down through the T-line and now kind of a bearish doji sandwich. Stochastics heading down. That whole industry is probably now being sold off. So basically, you put 2 plus 2 together. Notice DraftKings started showing indecision, and this is the whole purpose of candlestick analysis, is to tell you what type of investor sentiment is occurring at levels that everybody else is watching. You're in the overbought area, you hit the 200, you do a doji shooting star, a doji, and then you can see they've confirmed that they're not going in this direction. And when it opened lower, that was a good sign to start going short because they weren't going up through this level. Same thing on Roku, 2 plus 2 analysis. Doji failures right at the 50, gap down through the T-line, followed by a doji sandwich. Well, remember what a doji sandwich infers. There's going to be more downside. Your stochastics heading down. These are all high probability short trades. And we recommended NVAX because this is why you want to know what the nature of each signal represents. Indecision, indecision, indecision. That tells you they're not taking it up with very decisive trading. Then when they started selling off, we can see what the next pattern was, especially after this big selling pressure. We're in a bearish J-hook. If it went down through this level, it was a good short. If it opens lower, you've probably got a bearish doji sandwich confirming this downtrend. So everything we look at right now is heading for the bearish side. and we can pick out which charts have the strongest downside potential. With that, we still want to, promote our 2-week free trial, where you can come in for a couple weeks. We put out 2 or 3 stock picks every day in a video format, so that at least you can see what the rationale was for those recommendations. And you've got the chat room that's open every day. We've got probably around 150 people in there on average, up to 200 when everybody starts coming back to their desk, which is going to be in the next couple of weeks. But it allows you to see what the rationale is for our recommendations and how the candlestick logic works. So we use the horseradish marketing technique. Give you a sample because you'll see what the logic is. You're not being pushed to do anything, just being able to see what the logic is that creates high probability candlestick trades. That'll be it. We'll see you in the chat rooms.